Patty Leinemann.
The first question I'm going to ask is, do you feel joy when you work with your hands?
It depends on the material that I am working with, but usually I do, because I get quite immersed and forget about what's going on around me. Yeah, I can work tirelessly for, I could say sometimes 12 hours. Yeah, it depends, again, the material, what the project is.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your artistic process, practice, and the piece that you have here at the Made by Hand show?
Okay. My process is often with a lot of angst, and it takes a long time. I usually like to have a focus, for example, this show, Made by Hand. What do I want to make with my hands? What have I made? And how can I incorporate that into something more conceptual? I usually have something in mind of what I want to create, hence the necklace. And I was working with sewing needles in the past, and then I thought, how can I expand the projects that I'm working on more with these? And just out of fun, I thought, oh, let's try making a necklace. And then when my niece saw the necklace, she wanted to take photos of me, and we just kind of played around with that, and it was just such a great collaboration. And then she played around with the photograph. And then through that process, we talked more about what this really was about. And with her enhancing the photograph, then we realized it was more about not being able to speak up, which has been a lot for me throughout my life, especially in group settings. I'm better one-on-one. And to just have this feeling of chokers, sewing, the ends are quite painful, and yeah, what am I really trying to say with the work?
When you make a piece, do you design it, or is it in your mind's eye? Are you imagining it as you're making it, or do you have a design process?
I've never really liked the design process. I definitely have something in my mind's eye. I like that saying because I've always had these visuals. And then through the process of working towards that visual, either it shifts dramatically or it actually ends up being the work that it is, or a shift of material. Yeah.
Does your work convey a message, intent, concept, or philosophy?
I've been thinking a lot about this one for this piece. A lot of my work starts from Socrates of, I know nothing. That saying, I know that I know nothing. And so I'm always questioning and doing a lot more research of how do I really feel when something is bothering me, and how can I take that feeling and create an artwork? And then the viewer, I want them to have some sense of what I'm feeling inside, even though I have absolute no control over what the viewer is going to experience. So that's a little bit of our first year of university fine arts program. They talked a lot about Roland Barthes, and just that sometimes in the performing world you talk about that as the fourth wall, and trying to break it or go through it or be on the other side, or yeah, what's the viewer going to take or not? Just step back. Once the work is out there, you have nothing more to say with it. It's then what the person is going to think.
Could you comment on any influences, inspirations as part of the work that you've created?
Well, it's actually kind of a takeoff just from some work that I had done in the past, because through the research I couldn't find anything with sewing needles, and I thought you just got to trust your own self on this, because in the past I was working with materials that it was about, I have secrets that I am not allowed to tell people, and it was giving me a great deal of angst. And through that, I thought that was interesting then to look at the pictures that my niece had taken, and I thought, oh, This is kind of similar to what I was doing previously. So that's where, for me, the biggest influence came from.
Would you say that you identify as an artisan or an artist, and why?
I have to admit, I started as an artisan, but I think we all are artisans if we're all working with our hands creating. But I feel like I'm more of an artist because I'm looking at what am I really trying to share with viewers, audiences. But it also, I think, depends on the material that you're using. And also, for me, artisans, there's so much beauty, functionality. There isn't a deep meaning. There possibly could be for some, but usually it's people want to have something decorative, nice in their home. And I've made some things just over the holidays, and there's no attachment to it at all. No meaning, deeper meaning. I like both, and yeah. So I'm an artist.
You are.
Thank you.
And then do you think that society treats artists and artisans differently? What do you notice about these preconceptions? Do you think one is placed higher than the other?
You know, this is a really great question, because I think what I feel is it will depend on what circle that you are with, and the people that are more artisans may feel like they're artists, and artists that might feel they're more artisans. I think there is definitely a difference between artisan work and artists, but sometimes I'm looking at work and I think, oh, that could fall in as artisan, but again, I don't know the artist's intent of that work, and is there a deeper meaning? So that, I think we're still exploring what it is to be an artisan, what it is to be an artist, and are they both? I think it really depends on the group of people.
Do you think being an artist or an artisan changes the value or price you set for the work that you have for sale?
Oh boy, for me this comes to the person's self-worth, because observing people's work and what they are charging, I can see it can be for the hourly work. So I really don't have an answer for this one. It's a tough question because some people charge a lot and they get that amount, and other people I think, oh, you should be charging so much more, and they're happy with that little bit, and to me they're really an artist. I don't know, I think there's coaching that can be done in that area, and I think that's been going on since the beginning of time.